Welcome to Papa Junk Shop. Well, as long as I got everything out making stuff for the mini excavator, thought I'd make a ripper tooth thingy. And I went up on my scrap pile and I found this. It says it's winter wear parts. Apparently it's off a snowplow or something. I think I got it at the auction and with some other stuff. But it's a pretty hefty piece of iron. And, I don't know, what is it? No, this is it, retarded. So, retarded rulers, about an inch thick. It's heavier than heck anyways. But it has a hard edge on it. If I can flip it over. Take a file and run on that and it just skids right off of it. So I think I can cut it with my plasma cutter. I've cut inch stuff before. It just takes a while. So I'm going to try to cut through this and some of this other stuff. The back part of it I think is soft. So I might be able to do some regular work with some regular cutting methods, and gonna see what I can come up with for a ripper. So keep watching if you're interested in a ripper. Well, I got about an hour and a half invested in getting that piece cut off of there, believe it or not. Tried the plasma cutter and it would almost make it through, but you know, it kept blowing back and it was really ragged looking. So I give up on that, and I thought, well, I took it over and put it on my cut-off saw there, and it didn't like it either. It wanted to grab and pinch and just trying to cut through the hard stuff. So I probably got about halfway through it before it started binding up and causing issues. And I was afraid I was going to damage my saw there because it was bogging down. So I got the old big boy grinder out with a regular grinding disc on it, which is quite fat, to make a wide groove. And I finally got through the hard stuff. So then I thought, well, now that I'm through the hard stuff, I'll put it on my cut-off saw. Well, no matter which way I put it on there, this way there wasn't clearance for this, and if I put it in there this way, then there wasn't enough clearance this way. So I wound up putting it on that saw and standing there for half an hour leaning on it, and we finally got through it. So now I got to figure out what my next move is going to be. Well, I decided on a shape, so I'm cutting her out now on the bandsaw with that little 1/4 inch blade with a 4 teeth per inch. Seems to be chewing through it nicely. Looks like about 15 or 20 minutes to go that far. Well, I got that piece cut out of there, and decided I needed to round this off a little bit. So that blade did good until I got over here to this hard edge, and I decided to try the plasma cutter again. I put new tips on it, and I actually was able to cut through it. So I finished it up with that, and I decided that I need to have a point out on here. So this piece I cut out, I cut a piece off of it. So it's going to go on there like so. I'll do a pretty deep V in here all the way around and weld that on. And then I thought maybe I should have some teeth up in here to, you know, if you're ripping roots and stuff out, or if you're using this in combination with the thumb, might be nice to have some teeth in there. So got a piece of 3/8 plate I got laid out, and I cut one tooth out to see how it's going to go. So I'm going to weld that right in the middle of that, give it something to bite with. So I guess I'll get the tooth made and then we'll make them out. So I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of this done. Now I got the tip welded on and I got the teeth welded on, and I don't know what happened, but I got a bunch of little pits where it didn't work good. So then I tried going over, you know, cleaned it all up and tried going over it again, and it just didn't get much better. So like I say, I'm not a professional welder, so it don't look pretty, but pretty sure it's going to be solid enough. And the same thing on this side. You can see every once in a while there's a spot like that. Well, for some reason, the same area, I got the same thing on both sides. So I don't know. Like I say, I'm a do-it-yourselfer, so my things don't look pretty, but they seem to work all right. So the tooth part of it, I think, is pretty well underway. We'll get the base and the mounts made next. Now I went up the scrap pile and found a piece of, it's probably 1/2 inch thick. Figure that should make a pretty good base to weld that ripper thing onto. Gonna have to cut it with a plasma cutter because I don't know what it was, but it's hard. Try a file on it and it just skids across it. And you can see here, whatever it was broken off. So we're not going to need any holes in it. We're just going to weld on it, so it should work fine. Well, I got the, I guess you'd call it base plate welded onto the ripper tooth, whatever you want to call it. I did beat it out pretty good there. Got 3 passes. So I was going to put a brace on here, but I don't think it's going to be necessary. It welded really nicely, and you got to remember this thing's a mini excavator, so I think something else is going to break before that does. Yeah, I think I got her all assembled, and it's cooled down enough so I think I can carry it up to the other building and make sure it fits before I do the final cleanup and make it pretty. So I'm gonna go do that. Well, she went right on, no problems. Pin slid right in nicely. Hopefully you can hear me. It's pretty cold in here. Hydraulics kind of whiny, so but we'll put it through its movements. All seems to be good. So clean her up and make her pretty. Well, there she is. I'm gonna call her Bluetooth. Well, I got another idea for another accessory, so I might get started on it. So keep watching. If you enjoyed her, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.